All right, hello. Welcome to my meta communication speech. Let's meet the audience. You have my husband, Brian, my son, Caleb, who is a freshman in high school. You have my coworker, Kim, and her significant other, Al, and then you have the fabulous Claudia recording. Have you ever tried talking to a toddler? Doesn't it feel like you're kind of beating your head against the wall? It's okay to say yes. I do it all the time. Well, today we're going to talk about what we already do when communicating with toddlers. We're going to talk about how they communicate. We're going to talk about what we can do, and we're going to talk about some alternative ways of communication. So we're going to get a better understanding of how they communicate and ways that we can improve the communication barrier between an adult and a toddler. So when you think of speaking to a toddler, so many things go into this. One of the big things is touch. Children need touch. It's a sense of comfort. A hug and a kiss is a sense of lovingness. If children do not get that, they will not feel close to you and they won't want to talk or communicate with you. Another thing, your tone of voice. What kind of a mood are you in? When you're talking to these toddlers, are you in a bad mood and your voice is loud and aggressive? Or are you in a happy mood? Because children can hear this, they sense this. Speaking to a toddler in a soft but firm voice is the best way to communicate with them. The next thing we're going to look at is your body language. Where are you? Are you talking down to the child? Or are you getting on the child's level? Are you kneeling and looking at them? The next thing is your facial expressions. Where are your eyes? Are you talking to little Jimmy but looking at Tommy? Or are you giving the child your undivided attention? When speaking to children, they need to know that you are focused on them and you are not focused on other things. Children as young as 1 don't really have a lot of words yet. So when you're trying to speak to a toddler up to the age of 2, their form of communicating is crying or screaming. This is how they let you know that they need or want something. So when you see that they're crying, use those words. Be like, okay, I see that you're crying. If you point out what they're doing, they're going to pick up those words. Another way that toddlers communicate is temper tantrums. That's where the biting and the kicking and the hitting and the scratching come into play. They're doing these because either A, something is wrong, they want something, or they're trying to express their feelings. We need to listen to them. We need to watch what they are doing. We need to validate their feelings. If we don't, they're not going to open up to us. They're not going to learn better ways to communicate with us because they're going to close themselves off to you. When you want a toddler to do something, you need to say and show. So if you want little Jimmy to pick up the block over here, you can't just say, Jimmy, go pick up the block. You should walk over to the block and say, all right, can you come pick this up? And the next thing you want to do when trying to get them to do something is to break it down into very small steps. So once he picks that block up, then you walk over and go, okay, let's put it on the shelf now. Those are effective ways to communicate. You want to make sure that you're giving the simple breakdown instructions. Another thing you really want to do for children is to be an example. If you want them to do something, you first need to do it. If you want the children to clean up, you need to get down on the floor and start cleaning up. Children who do not have a lot of words yet don't understand what you want them to do. That is why it's so important that you show them and tell them at the same time. Toddlers are amazing. Their brains are like sponges. They soak everything that you tell them up. So right now we're going to talk about some alternative ways of communication. One of the most effective and one of the best ways to communicate with the nonverbal or pre-verbal is sign language. Sign language is amazing for babies. They pick it up, they can tell you more, or they can tell you they're hungry without having words. So they're already communicating with us. And sign language is also an amazing form of communication with special needs children that don't have those verbal skills. Another really great way to communicate with children is books and pictures. I know that I had a biter in my class, and we have a book about biting. So when the child would bite, we would go and say, no biting, that's not nice. And then we would go and we would read the book, and it's teaching them that valuable lesson that teeth are not for biting, teeth are for smiling, and they are for eating. Reading books and pictures also expands their vocabulary, and it helps them process their speech much earlier. Another amazing way to communicate with toddlers is music and games. If you want kids to do something, make it fun. Make it fun for them. If you want them to clean up the room, even 1-year-olds, sing a song, make a game out of it. They want to do those fun things. They want to sing the songs. If you're singing the cleanup song, they're gonna come over by you and they're gonna start doing it. I know I use it. They will help you if it is fun. If you pick up the pail and you go around, they will throw all the stuff in it like it's a basketball hoop. Kids love to do things that are fun. So today we have talked about things that we already do, like our touch and our body language. We've talked about different techniques that we can use. We've also talked about how toddlers themselves communicate, and we've talked about some alternative ways to communicate with toddlers. The one thing I really want you guys to remember is that children very young of age are still learning. They are still developing their language skills. So now that you have more knowledge and more understanding of how toddlers communicate and how we can better communicate with them, I hope that you can use this and get rid of that barrier between the adults and the toddlers. I want to thank you all so much for coming today and being a part of this. Thank you.